you were just in?
I just finished with a workshop that Asian Prison Support Committee put together called Exposing the School to Prison Pipeline. And we have a very lively discussion after the workshop with some of the attendees to talk about some of the issue that was discussed through the workshop. And I think that's the conversation have to do with whether the prisoners should be inside prison, or some of the prisoners who have transformed their lives, who will make amends and take responsibility for their action. How much longer do they have to stay in the prison system? And then we also talk about some of the systemic impact, that it has on the prison industrial complex, and how is it affecting the Asian American and Pacific Islander population. I think that's something that is normally not discussed in this type of platform, but then because we're giving the space to the Asian American Pacific Laborers Alliance, that we're able to have this space to talk about it. The topic of the workshop was to talk about, number one, how APSC, which is the Asian Prison Support Committee, was formed. And then also we talked about a little bit about the Roots program, which is the Restoring to Our Originally True Selves program that is taking place in San Quentin. And we also talk about Roots to Reentry. It's also a program that we do to help specifically supporting the Asian American Pacific Islander who were released from prison. And then we also talk about immigration, deportation issues in the workshop.
Was it popular? Was there a lot of people that attended this discussion?
Well, not as many as I would like to have. I would like to have like a couple hundred people in the room, but then we do have about 40 to 50 people in the room, and people stay for the duration of the workshop. And I think because people are interested, to learn more about the effect of mass incarceration, mass deportation has on the Asian American Pacific Islander population. And I think one of the highlight, I believe, is having the discussion from the audience to be able to express how they feel and ask some important questions about those type of issues that they normally are not aware of, and also sharing some of the testimony of how they and their family members have been affected by the mass incarceration and deportation. I think that's important. I think we didn't have enough time to really dwell into all this complexity of all these issues. So, but it's an important first step to have.
Attendees?
Yes. Well, I had discussion specifically with a couple of people. One is this lady that who expressed the fact that the people who commit a crime that should be in prison, and it's also expressing that the idea of if you commit a serious crime, then it's okay to be charged as an adult, even though you're 16 or you're under the age. And I think that sentiment is a prevalent sentiment in the mainstream. And I think those are good sentiments in a sense that because it allows us to have this dialogue and have an understanding that we have more work to do in educating the public, especially our own brothers and sisters in the Asian American Pacific Islander community, because we often don't think about the mass incarceration and deportation issue are relating to our community. So that's important. And I also have a discussion with this young man who has similar experience, dealing with his family when, his family was detained by the Department of Homeland Security, as a result of this hysteria about terrorism, for the people who are from Muslim countries and Middle Eastern countries. And then he was sharing about how his father, his mother, are all affected by it, and how he actually was detained for 8 hours, but that 8 hours felt like a lifetime for him, just because the unknown that's happening to him and his family. And I also had a discussion with this, older gentleman who expressed the fact that, that his own, siblings had experienced incarceration, how if given the opportunity to have programs that is culturally competent and is really rooted into helping the prisoners to identify their culture, history, and identity, then less people would probably be incarcerated. So I think, those discussions that I had with them kind of resonates, with the work that we need to do to educate people. So I think the Asian American Pacific Islander Laborers Alliance create this unique opportunity to be inclusive, in this convention, to talk about the mass incarceration, the mass criminalization, and deportation issues. Because even though folks are coming from different labor sectors and also non-labor sectors, and people from different diverse groups talk about different issues that everybody has their own agenda they trying to share and push to get support. But I think having that space that we can have shared struggles and shared solutions is important. So that's why I feel that the fact that the labor, with APALA and the AFL-CIO and NEA are embracing this process is appreciated, and it needs to continue in all our daily conversations. I mean, for me, as a formerly incarcerated individual who has gone through the immigration to school to prison and deportation pipeline, I think something that I always remember is the fact that I'm not in this alone. There are hundreds and thousands of people who are in a similar situation, but yet they don't have a voice. They don't have the platform that they be able to own their narrative and share their narrative to other people. Right? When they don't have an opportunity to even express themselves, then we marginalize a big population of our people in the community that are impacted by mass incarceration and mass deportation. And I believe that each individual has the power to change, because life is a process. We all have different times of growing or different times of changing our mindset to believe in change. So therefore, we can make judgments on people regardless of how they believe at the time. We just have to continue to create a safe space to have a dialogue, to talk about those difference of opinions, and so how we can to engage each other, right, and learn from each other. And it's only through the process of building relationships and learning and really acknowledge each other as human beings that it's important for us to move forward to make this society make this society a society that we all want to live in. Happy New Breath.
Happy New Breath?
Happy New Breath.
Can you explain that?
So I spent 21 years of my life in prison. Right? During my time in prison, having hope kept me sane and kept me committed into changing my life so I can get out from prison to become a productive member of society. But during this process, I appreciate life more than ever. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to be free, right? Not only physically free, but mentally free. Because I was mentally free first before I was physically free, because through the education that I was able to find for myself. So when I came out, I really appreciate and understand intimately how my breath sustains my life. And so frequently in all of us, in our daily lives, that we took that breath that sustains our life for granted. So I want to remind myself every day, about appreciating the breath of life. And I also want to share with other people to remind them to appreciate their life and appreciate their breath. So that's why I always start with Happy New Breath, because without breath, there is no hope. And with breath comes hope.